Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about those massive monster snowstorms out west, of course. We're also going to be talking about some possibility for severe weather again in the southeastern United States. We're going to be talking about that historic cold that is possible as well. Also, multiple snowstorms now looking a little bit possible for the northeast. We'll talk about that also. Anyways, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, how much snowfall do you really think is going to happen out west? What is the maximum out there? And what state do you think it'll happen in? Give me the details of your thoughts, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now, let's get straight into this video, and we're taking a look at our radar imagery. There's three things going on here. First off, we have, whoa, that is huge. Did you guys see that? Oh my goodness. Here we go. Let's try this again. Out west. I promise I didn't do that on purpose. That was really weird. Okay, so out west we have a lot of snowfall going on, a lot of rainfall going on, a lot of things going on in general. I'm actually going to change the color here of my thing again because I want us to be able to see this properly. Let's see. That's a little better. I think we can see that better. So we do have some rainfall moving onshore to Washington State, California, and I'm sure there's some of that happening for Oregon as well. We also have this nor'easter moving up the coast, and I can tell you here in Virginia, I felt a lot of rainfall last night. It's a pretty nasty storm, and it's beginning to already bring some snowfall here to Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, and New Hampshire, as well as Maine, if I forgot to mention Maine. We also have some lake effect snowfall to talk about as well. So as always, let's just zoom into these different regions. First off, the northwest here. Let's talk about everything going on here. We have all this energy and precipitation moving onshore. Oregon's in a little bit of a dry slot as of right now, but there will be plenty of precipitation for everybody over the next week or more, rest assured. Cascades already seeing some heavy snowfall, as well as the northern Sierra Nevadas at this point. We see a lot of this snowfall for the northern Rockies as well, and some of the plains here and hilly regions of Washington. So we're seeing a lot of snowfall in general for a lot of these regions, a little bit more inland. We're going to see this fill in a little bit as time progresses as well. So that's storm number one of kind of all these storms we're expecting. Now we have some pretty classic lake effect snowfall going on for the upper peninsula of Michigan and the lower peninsula of Michigan here. For a lot of the state as well. So we are seeing quite a bit of that going on. Wouldn't be surprised to see some lake effect snow begin to pick up for these regions as well. Actually, and if I'm not mistaken, right here at the end of this radar, you can see some of that beginning here. Yeah, and kind of to the east, northeast of Erie, Pennsylvania, I think. Let's see. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I want to say around this area that is some of that developing. So I think we will see some of that coming off of some of these more northeastern regions as well. These lakes over here, would not be surprised to see that at all. Now, this nor'easter, let's take a look at the southern end. We do have a lot of precipitation along the eastern seaboard, and this is all moving, as you can see, just right up the coast. A lot of rainfall took place in these regions over the past 24 hours. As we move northward here, let's just take this to the northeast. We can see this is producing some snowfall here for a lot of these regions, and we're watching closely because this could be heavier at times, and this could lead towards some accumulation as well. It seems like a pretty exclusive region. We talked about this yesterday. This isn't going to be a widespread snowfall event. Pretty exclusive for some of these regions I circle here. And if we were in a colder pattern so far this December, we would probably be looking at more snowfall, but that is just not how things have played out. I was thinking about, isn't it crazy how October and November really went cold? I mean, it was really, really cold, and it seemed like we were going to have a pretty promising December based on that, but it seemed like right around December 1st, we flipped back into an unfavorable pattern, and ever since then, ever since meteorological winter started, we've been in a more spring-like pattern, to say the least. Really weird stuff. Now, we're going to move on to some model guidance here. Now, let's begin to take a look at some modeled guidance. This is at about right now, and everything adds up. Everything looks about what we just saw on the radar. So let's just go ahead and move this towards this evening. And as you can see already, this snowfall up here is going to be moving out from that nor'easter. We'll take a look at the total snowfall in just a minute, but things are really picking up out west. We can see some heavier precipitation moving on shore out there. Let's just keep moving this on, and you can see some heavy snowfall really setting in by the time we're reaching about, I would say about 12 p.m. here on Thursday, December 23rd. We do see some light snowfall for these regions as well in a clipper-like system. But let's move up into the northeast and take a look at the total snowfall for that little nor'easter. Let's go ahead and look at this. This is snowstorm 1 for them. Yeah, so you might be expecting a dusting, if anything, in the grays. Maybe 2 to 6 inches of snowfall here in the blue, and then in this purple region, about 6 to 10 perhaps in that region. So that is what we're generally taking a look at. Let's go back to the national view though, because I want to talk about some of these more upcoming snowstorms as well. And by the time we reach that evening, this is going to be about Thursday at about 11 p.m. on December 23rd. Again, still seeing the moderate to heavy snowfall for a lot of these regions, and pretty interestingly, we're seeing a lot of rainfall down here for Southern California as well. Super interesting pattern. This very minor clipper system is moving through the Great Lakes region, probably bringing snowfall showers. And by the time we reach about 6 a.m. that morning, that's kind of reaching New England. Again, very light snowfall showers. We are seeing heavy snowfall still out west. This is going to be continuous. We've talked about this multiple times. Just monstrous amount of snowfall out here. We'll take a look at the snowfall amounts at the end of this video, but it is I mean, shockingly massive. And by the time we reach about 5 a.m. on Saturday, December 25th, Christmas Day, we're still seeing that moderate to heavy snowfall going on for a lot of the folks out west. We are seeing that potential white Christmas storm moving through this region. It's going to move kind of like this, bringing some potential snowfall to this region on Christmas Day. That doesn't mean snow on the ground. That means snow falling out of the sky on Christmas Day. I think that's the most beautiful thing I could ever imagine. We do see some rainfall down here, which is a little more nasty. Let's continue this on. By the time we reach about 8 p.m. here on Christmas Day, we're still seeing this moderate to heavy snowfall for all of these regions. This model is showing so much cold that by 8 p.m. on Christmas Day, let's take a look at the Northwest here. If I'm not mistaken, that would mean that all of these regions are basically snow, even the lower elevation regions, 8 p.m. Christmas Day. That includes Portland and Seattle potentially. Maybe that won't be the case. Maybe it'll be a bit warmer, but that is interesting to see this much cold diving in. And we see a 993 millibar low pressure center right here. So super low pressure in here, probably getting pressure headaches if you get those, if you live in those regions. I just thought about that. You guys get so many huge low pressure systems. I can't imagine the headaches you guys have to deal with. That is crazy. All right, let's continue this on. Now, by the time we're reaching 6 a.m. the day after Christmas, this is the look. Very plain out here in the east. The jet stream is moving like this, very flat. We do see a lot of warmth building in for these regions. Some seasonal cold there, interesting. And then tons of snowfall out west, just taking over. 994 millibar low pressure center there, probably going to move up like this, like they all have this year. We see one right here as well, a 996 millibar low pressure center. So we see a tandem storm taking place by that point. By the time we reach Monday morning, it's going to be December 27th. We see, again, heavy snowfall for this region. Heavy snowfall taking place for the upper Midwest and a bit of the Great Lakes as well, even beginning out here for New England. But when you see this setup, likely what's happening is we see a cold front here, but we see a warm front here. So what ends up happening is that rain-snow line moves up with this warm front. So you're never going to see an all-snow event from a warm front. It'll end up as rain or mix. So you're never going to see accumulating snowfall on this end. What you want to see is the low pressure center to the east of you. That way the warm front is way over here, and you're getting the cold front end so that this is becoming snow at the end and staying snowfall. Does that make sense? Hopefully. All right, that's your weather lesson of the day. Let's continue this on. 6 a.m. on Tuesday. Again, heavy snowfall is still taking place out west. Do I even have to say it anymore? It's still taking place. And historic cold is building in by this point as well. We'll take a look at that in a second. 996 millibar low pressure center here. Again, we talked about it. This is the warm front out to the east. Right there. Precipitation in this region. We do see probably a bit of a cold front in here with that cold air. This is the setup. Let's continue this on. That does become a snowstorm as it kind of floats out like this. And we do see some snowfall in here again. These very far northern regions are seeing a bit of snowfall. This is 2 a.m. on Wednesday, December 29th, by the way. We are seeing that moderate to heavy snowfall still out west, like always. And that potential severe weather becomes possible right around this point, Thursday, December 30th. We see very heavy snowfall and very potent cold air for these regions. This area in here in particular might be about 50 degrees below normal. We're going to talk about that in a second, like I said. This is that potential severe weather building in right there. I am watching for this. When we look at our convective available potential energy, that's a different model run. Let's go on this one. Okay, here we go. That was, by the way, that was an updated model run for like today. So that was not an updated model run for the day that I'm expecting severe weather. I just want to clarify there. Now we do see in these yellow regions, we see about 2,000 CAPE, and in the green regions, we're seeing about 1,000 plus. So all of these regions would have potential severe weather around the 30th through the 31st time frame. Again, it went to the updated one. This is going to get annoying. Okay, so yeah, plenty of storminess around that time frame for these regions, and a ton of CAPE with the warm air out ahead of this massive cold air. We're going to need to watch that situation very closely because that's kind of a recipe for very disastrous results. Let's see, 996 millibar low pressure center, likely going to move up like that. This is by the 31st, morning of the 31st, afternoon by the 31st. By this point, we see a massive snowstorm. This looks pretty big here. And again, the cold front is probably moving in like that. So these areas are seeing plenty of snowfall there to the south of this low pressure center. Probably a ton of snowfall expected with that one as it moves up if it was to occur that way. 978 millibar low pressure center there. Huge. Probably going to move up like this. Pretty much a non-event for these regions. But we do see a huge cold front to the south of it. And this could mean this cold air, this historic cold air, could be pushing eastward. I am kind of eyeballing that possibility. I've been watching for that possibility, and it does seem kind of possible at this point. I said possible a lot of times there. Now, temperature anomalies during this massive cooldown. Let's take a look. Wow, frigid. Okay, let's take a look at the west because that's where this is mostly happening. Yeah, that is cold. That is very, very cold. Okay, so this is probably the coldest frame here. We see 40 to 50 degrees below normal for all of these regions, basically. Let's take a look at what the actual temperatures would look like. And it's going to stay this cold pretty much from the 27th through the 31st, I would say, is what we're kind of expecting. Get back right to where I was. Okay. Actual temperature here. This is the low temperatures of Thursday, December 30th. That is December 29th into 30th, by the way. And we're seeing negative 20, negative 30, even pushing on negative 40 for these regions. And here, single digits for Washington, Oregon, and California, all within this. This is all single digits there. So yes, maybe even some of these bigger cities like Portland and Seattle trying to be in the teens or even single digits, which is very cold for those regions. We will be watching this particular situation very closely. I am quite concerned about that for sure. Now we're going to move on to the total snowfall for the West. Total snowfall through the entire model run. And we are, at this point, expecting, well, we see 129, 116. Let's see if we can spot any more. 80. 87 there, 81 in Utah, 49 there in Colorado, 63 in New Mexico. Tons of snowfall. And if we look at the bottom right of your screen, maximum 211 inches somewhere in here. So hundreds of inches expected for Washington, Oregon, California especially, but also Idaho, Montana. We see Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico, and Nevada. Now, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, I'm not sure if you guys make it into the hundreds. I'm fairly confident that Washington, Oregon, and California will. And then there's a good possibility that Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming could as well, and Utah. So we're watching closely this situation. Let's take a look at the Northeast real quick and see what their total snowfall is overall. I am curious. So that's the Mid-Atlantic, which is obviously nothing. So through January 1st, this is it. This is all the snowfall, okay? 2 to 6 inches of snowfall here in the blues. The purples are going to be your 6 to 10 inch regions. And hardly any 10 inches plus. I think the only two areas that get 10 inches plus here in the east is going to be Mount Washington and then extreme northern Maine there. So still remaining quite snowless here in the eastern United States for the foreseeable future. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get straight into our confidence tab. And for today, we are at still a 4 out of 6. I feel moderately confident in a few things. Obviously, we talked about some long-range stuff, medium range, and short range. I talk about this time and time again. So I am very confident in the short-range stuff, but for the long-range things, like the cooldown heading eastward, things like that, it's just not too high. So we're at a 4 out of 6. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, do you think it's possible that we see a white Christmas for the Northeast or New England? And James Marr said, I believe it is possible, but on the lighter end for southern New England. And I definitely think that seems to be the biggest possibility. You know, dusting, if anything, in those gray regions, remember, and that is pretty widespread. There is a few blue regions of 2 to 6 inches of snowfall, and then a very exclusive area of 6 to 10. But we do expect snow to be falling out of the sky for a lot of New England on Christmas Day, which I think is quite beautiful regardless. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Larry LePan, Mandy Birchfield, and Patrick Strickland as well. And Dave Scott and Donna Carnes. I'm getting used to the new members we have here. For today's diamond patrons as well, we have Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Colisi also. I would also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox also. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.